All right, in this lesson, we're going to talk about identifying and writing proportions. Our last lesson, we talked about ratios, and that ratios are a comparison of two different values. So a proportion is just simply an equation that says that the two ratios are equivalent. Okay, so, and there's a very simple way of doing it called either cross multiplication, or some people call it like the butterfly method, because when you do it, it sort of looks like a butterfly. But so this down here, this is an example of a proportion. Okay, 6 over 4, or 6. The way you actually read this is that you say 6 is to 4 as 21 is to 14. All right. And the way to check that is that you can just cross multiply 6 times 14 and 4 times 21. So if we say 6 times 14 is equal to 4 times 21, okay? Well, 6 times 14, we get our calculator out. Get our calculator out here. 6 times 14 is 84, okay? And 4 times 21 is also 84. So both sides of that proportion are equal to 84. So that says that they are proportional. If they end up with different numbers, then it's not proportional. Okay. So it says here, determine whether the ratios are proportional. So we're going to cross multiply. All right, and you'll see here where we get the thing of that it looks like the butterfly method or whatever, because it sort of looks like a butterfly. So we're saying 24 times 128, and we're wanting to know, is that the same thing as 51 times 72? Well, get our calculators out, and we're going to say 24 times 128, that's 3,072, okay? And if we say 51 times 72, that's 3,672, okay? So those are not equal, so this is not a proportion. Or we could say they're not proportional. Okay, either way that we, not a proportion, okay, so there we go, not a proportion. All right, so let's do another one. 150 is to 105 as 90 is to 63. We want to see if that is a proportion, or if they are proportional. All right, so we're going to say 150 times 63, is that equal to 90 times 105? And it doesn't matter if you go top to bottom and top to bottom, or if you go, as long as you cross multiply, you can go top to bottom and bottom to top if you want. It doesn't matter at all. So we're going to say 150 times 63 is 9,450. 9,450, and then we're going to say 90 times 105, and 9,450. We end up with the same number, so these are proportional. They are proportional. Okay, so cross multiply. 54 times 144. Is that the same as 63 times 72? Okay, well, easy way to check. Use a calculator. 54 times 144. 7,776. Okay, and then we do 63 times 72, and that's not even close. Okay, so 4,536. 4,536, I believe. Yep. Okay, and so this is not proportional. Okay. Another one. So rather than circling, I'm just going to write it down. 130. Well, I can go 4 times 135, just simply because the 4, and so I did bottom to top here, is equal to 9 times 75. Okay, just as I went across here and I did across here. Okay, except I went from bottom to top and then top to bottom. All right, so 4 times 135. 540. 9 times 75. 675. And so this, once again, is not proportional. Okay. All right. And let's see here. All right. So the last thing we're going to talk about is finding equivalent ratios. And to find an equivalent ratio, you just multiply both the numerator or the top number and the bottom number by the same number. The example that I've given here is an equivalent ratio of 3/5 is this. I just multiplied everything by 2 over 2. Okay. And remember, 2 over 2 is the same thing as multiplying by 1. So 3 times 2 is 6, 5 times 2 is 10. So 3/5 and 6/10 are equivalent ratios, and you would actually say 3 is to 5 as 6 is to 10. All right? You can also do it by dividing. If you have a big one, you can go smaller. Here we divided by 4, with both the top and the bottom. And so we have 28 is to 16 as 7 is to 4. Okay, so those are equivalent ratios. So here it says, which of the ratios listed below are equivalent to 2/9? Okay, so 2/9, okay? So if I look at the top 2 times what gives me 10? Well, 2 times 5 gives me 10. And 9 times 5 gives me 45. So that is, all right? Well, obviously, here we have 2 times 5. This is 2 times 5. But this is not, 9 times 5 is not 35. 2 times 2.5 gives me 5. 9 times 2.5 would give me, well, let's just see. 9 times 2.5 is 22.5. So this would not be it. And same thing, we know that 9 times 2.5 is 22.5, so that would not be it. So the only one here is 10 to 45 is an equivalent ratio. All right, and the last one, which are equivalent to 4 to 5? Well, let's see here. 4, if we go here, 4 to 5, okay? So 4 times 3 is 12. 5 times 3 is not 18. So that is not it, okay? Here again, we go 4 times 3, 5 times 3. And once again, 5 times 3 is 15. It's not 20, so it's not it. Okay. Well, 4 times 3, this looks like it. Okay, 4 times 3 is 12. 5 times 3 is 15. So that is it. And 4 times what gives us 15? Well, I don't know, but I know that 5 times 4 gives us 20. 4 times 4 is 16, so that doesn't count. So that means that is not proportional either. So 12. So we have 4 is to 5 is 12 is to 15. So anyway, make sure that you ask me questions. Make sure you have all the notes copied down, and we'll talk to y'all later on.